think everyone's experience is going to be somewhat different, but I guess for me, the social cues were not intuitive, so I was just very bookish, and I didn't understand these. I guess others could sort of intuitively understand what was meant by something. I would just tend to take things very literally, as just like the words as spoken were exactly what they meant. But then that turned out to be wrong. You can't. They're not simply saying exactly what they mean. There's all sorts of other things that are meant. It took me a while to figure that out. So I was, bullied quite a lot. So I did not have a sort of happy childhood, to be frank. It was quite rough. But I read a lot of books. I read lots and lots of books, and so that sort of gradually I sort of understood more from the books that I was reading, and watched a lot of movies, just. But it took me a while to understand things that most people intuitively understand. I found it rewarding to spend all night programming computers just by myself, and I think most people don't enjoy typing strange symbols into a computer by themselves all night. They think that's not fun, but I thought I really liked it. So I would just program all night by myself, and I found that to be quite enjoyable. But I think that is not normal. I think one aspect of whatever condition I had was I was just absolutely obsessed with truth, just obsessed with truth, and so the obsession with truth is why I studied physics, because physics attempts to understand the truth of the universe. Physics is just what are the provable truths of the universe. And truths that have predictive power. So for me, physics was sort of a very natural thing to study. Nobody made me study it. It was intrinsically interesting to understand the nature of the universe. And then computer science or information theory, also to just understand logic and there's an argument that that information theory is actually operating at a more fundamental level than even physics. I think the why of things is very important. I actually, when I was sort of young teens, I got quite depressed about the meaning of life, and I was trying to sort of understand the meaning of life, reading religious texts and reading books on philosophy. And I got into the German philosophers, which is definitely not wise if you're a young teenager, I have to say. It can be a bit dark. Much better read as an adult. And then actually I ended up reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is actually a book on philosophy, just sort of disguised as a silly humor book, but actually it's actually a philosophy book. And Adams makes the point that it's actually the question that is harder than the answer. He sort of makes a joke that the answer is 42. That number does pop up a lot, and 420 is just 10 times 42.
10 times more significant than 42. Okay.
There's you can make a triangle with 42 degrees and two 69s. So there's no such thing as a perfect triangle, or is there? A proposal for a worldview or a motivating philosophy, which is to understand what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. And to the degree that we expand the scope and scale of consciousness, biological and digital, we will be better able to ask these questions, to frame these questions, and to understand why we're here, how we got here, what the heck is going on. And so that is my driving philosophy, is to expand the scope and scale of consciousness that we may better understand the nature of the universe.